Boker Tov, everyone. Good to be with you this morning. Let us begin today with Elohai Neshama, a prayer where we thank God for the very breath that we breathe for this day before us. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. Ata berata, ata yitzarta, ata nefakta bi. Me'ata mishamra bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. This morning, we find ourselves in the 5th week of the Omer. We began by attuning ourselves to this world, by setting out on a new journey and entering the wilderness, by sitting in places that were unknown. And now we try to find our way forward. So before I go into the teaching for this morning, which I'm really excited about, I would love to just welcome all of you and thank you so much for being here in Sacred Community this morning. So a huge Boker Tov to Andrea and to Sarah, to Bonnie and to George, to Jay and to Pam, to Tina and Susan, and Hannah and Diane, and Carrie and Debbie and Marla, and everyone else who is here with us this morning. Thank you so much. Your presence truly, truly matters. And everyone else joining later in the day, I'm so glad that we can be in community, that technology affords us the ability to be present together, even at later times. So today I want to talk about a very, very minor holiday. Such a minor holiday, in fact, that you may never have heard of it before. It's a holiday that actually was yesterday, that ended last night. And it's a kind of Passover, except of course, we know Passover was a whole month ago. So why are we talking about Passover now? Well, essentially, it's about Passover Sheni. But before we can go into that, let us say our blessing for this day of the Omer. I'm going to stop share for 1 second. Hold on just a second here. Okay, let's try that again. So the blessing of the Omer is Baruch Atah Adonai. Okay, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us concerning the counting of the Omer. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. Hayom Shlashim Yom Shehem Arba Shavuot V'Sheni Yamim LaOmer. Today is 30 days, which is 4 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. So today, I have 2 versions of the same file open, and it's causing problems for me. Give me 1 second as I figure this out. And this actually relates quite well to what I'm talking about today. Here we go. So, okay. So today we're talking about a very, very minor holiday, which is called Pesach Sheni. And Pesach Sheni is essentially the second Passover. So you might ask, why? Why Pesach Sheni? Why is it so important to have a holiday that is a second Passover? Well, it turns out that a year after our exodus from Egypt, there were people who were unable to celebrate Passover. And the Torah says, but there were some men who were unclean by reason of a corpse, meaning they had to deal with someone who had died. And they could not offer the Passover sacrifice on that day. Because the idea was, in order to offer a sacrifice in Passover, you had to be ritually clean. And so because they were taking care of someone who died, they weren't ritually clean by these priestly, by this mindset. And so they weren't able to take part in this really, really important sacrifice. Appearing that same day before Moses and Aaron, these men came to Moses and Aaron and said, we were unclean because of a corpse, but must we be debarred from presenting the Eternal's offering as its set time with the rest of the Israelites? Just because we were doing this mitzvah, we were taking care of someone, does that really mean that we aren't able to give this Passover sacrifice, that we aren't able to take part in the celebration of freedom, of this journey from a place of narrowness to a place of expanse? Does that mean that we are excluded? And there is a pause, of course, but then came the response. Speak to the Israelite people, God is saying, when any of you or of your posterity who are defiled by a corpse or on a long journey and would offer a Passover sacrifice to the Eternal, they shall offer it on the 2nd month, on the 14th day of the month at twilight. They shall eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. So what is this saying? Well, if you are not able to take part in the first Passover, we're going to create a second Passover just for you. In other words, this is a teaching that second chances are always possible within our tradition. The fact that this exemption was not just made for these particular men, but for all people in the future, is really, really powerful. To remind us that just because we made a mistake or just because something didn't go the way we hoped it would, doesn't mean that we are out of luck. There is always another way. There is always another chance. There's a couple of teachings from this that I want to bring out. One, a friend of mine, Diddy Walks, who actually is a Chabad rabbi up in Utica, he gave a teaching on this where he pointed out that these people who missed out on the first Passover, they didn't get a second chance until they asked for it, until they looked for it. It's possible to just beat ourselves up and allow ourselves to sit in the past and to hold on to past mistakes and to really just keep struggling with them. Or it's possible to be like these Israelites and say, hey, wait a second, is there another way? Is there another way that I can go forward? Is there another way that I can do this? And to begin to let go of the past and create a new future. And the other thing, of course, is that we're always afforded this idea of second chances, that there's sometimes in life, it seems like there are two choices. the left or the right. And we learn here that very often there's another chance, another choice. And that choice here is to have a second Passover, a Pesach Sheni, an opportunity to take part in the tradition, even if it wasn't at the exact same time as the other Israelites. And so the question that I wanted to offer for today for reflections are like, what are past mistakes or past things that are holding you back? And what would it take to let them go so that you could continue on your journey? And I invite you to think a little bit about that today, if that's a question that resonates with you. This morning, we also learned as a community that Alon Davidson's mother, Tamar Davidson, recently died last evening. And so I know that as we turn as a community to this Misha Barach prayer, we're thinking about the Davidson family. We're thinking about so many people in our community who continue to mourn, who struggle with illness of mind or body. Anyone who is in need of healing at this point, I invite you to join with me in offering this prayer, the Misha Barach by Lisa Levine. Misha Barach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Misha Barach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Misha Barach Avotenu, Misha Barach Imotenu, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. I hope everyone has a day filled with blessing, filled with healing, and filled with new possibilities. And I look forward to seeing you all as we continue our Omer accounting tomorrow. Everyone who signed up for the Taste of Judaism class tonight, we have such an awesome class, and I'm so looking forward to that tonight. So I look forward to seeing you potentially there, and I hope everyone